Join us now then on this trip through history to see what's happened to the 38th over those 25 years. Well, 1977 saw us at Llanover, the Welsh Jamboree, which is held every 4 years. We went there and joined with 2,000 other scouts. There were some really nasty activities there. This very vicious assault course, which involved a long tube, 2/3 with water, filled with water with a bend in it, and then off onto the hills for more activities. Another shot of this vicious assault course. It really was frightening to some of the younger ones. And here's Glyn and Simon putting some stakes in the ground so that we could set up a aerial ropeway. Off on a hike on the Brecons with Jack Shettle and a young David Day, who's just a cub then. And one day we went on a trip to a fairground on the coast. Here was Roger, and while on a hike, one young David Day gets rather tired and needs a rest. Here we are on the hills overlooking Abergavenny on another hike. At the camp we had opportunity for all sorts of activities, including archery, and another go at part of this awful assault course that covered you in mud. Here's Robert Webb on the aerial runway that we've now put up. But such a thing takes a lot of effort and a lot of pulley blocks and a lot of tension. While we were there, we were visited by some Red Indians. Not really Red Indians, but they were in fact missionaries of the church who were doing a special show about the Indians, and they came and visited the Jamboree, and of course we had a privileged attendance there because we'd arranged it. Here's our group photograph before we left. More in camp than the previous year, and the troop is building up again now. Well, here we are, off on a hike. Another one of our cine records. Here's the coach trip that we went on to Barry Island, but it was too much for some, including me. Some more abseiling at Llangattock, since this was only a few miles from where we were staying. Matthew Lewis, I think, and Tim Shettle. Back at camp, somebody gets staked out. At the Jamboree you don't have a lot of space, you're next to lots of other scouts, and the flags were flying of all the nations represented at the Jamboree. It was truly an international affair. Well, here they are collecting all the gear to build the aerial runway that we saw on the slides earlier. Now we could see if nothing they'd learnt really had sunk in. Well, there's a nice piece of lashing. Robert Webb up there getting it all organised with Jack, while the rest hold it up. And then a good old bounce to see if it's okay. Is Roger Fallon having a go. Then we were visited by the Chief Scout, who actually came and looked at our aerial runway, our aerial our rope construction. It was something that quite a lot of people outside of our own troop had to go on. Here's Simon. And Glenn Westcott having a go. and then off on a hike. Then the following winter we had a hike competition in the Malvern Hills. Here's Mark and Simon serving out their beans, and one not very happy Lee Armstrong. That winter was also a district cub outing to York, to the Railway Museum, and one young cub by the name of David Day looks around the steam locomotives. And that year also Roger Farrant got his Chief Scouts Award and elected to have it presented by the Chief Scout at Gilwell. He waited all day for the presentation, but although 2,000 got the award, the Chief had something to say to all of them, and even noticed Roger's woggle from his jamboree in Wales.